Hello, everyone. Dr. Lisa Fost here with Diversify RX, coming to you with some great information on a long-standing company that has really been a friend of independent pharmacies for many, many years. I actually bought Vinco products in my very first pharmacy that I started. And so I'm very excited to be talking about Vinco today. I have Dave from Vinco who is here, and we're going to deep dive into some of their products, but I really think this is a company that you need to know and you need to be selling in your pharmacy because they have some advantages that offer you advantages in taking care of your patients and helping your bottom line. So Dave, thank you for spending some time with me today. Could you go ahead and give a brief introduction of yourself and then maybe tell us a little bit about Vinco for somebody who's like, I've never heard of this company. What it is that you guys do? Just give them a nice, good overview.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Thank you for having us. I'm happy to be here and talk with the pharmacy owners. And so again, my name is Dave Petron. I've been with Vinco for going on 16 years. I've been here so long because it is a really great company. I've been able to really work within this family-owned company to really expand what I can do in sales. I also have a background too in graphic arts, and we'll get into that a little bit later as to how that plays into what we have to offer here too. But we've been around for over 40 years. We do high-end nutritional supplements. We cater to the independent market, the professional market, independent pharmacies, doctors, chiropractors, stuff like that. We're not retail. So we always have your best interest in mind. So kind of playing off of that, we do have a rather large offering of different supplements for different disease state management protocols. We have drug nutrient depletion products and programs, probiotics, liposomals, just a very, very wide range of different products that you can implement in pharmacy and, really be able to work one-on-one with your customers. There's the profit side of that, which is great for the pharmacy, but there's also that aspect that you're helping your customers feel better, just deal with some issues, some health issues, that they're having. And then whenever they come back to you and they say, I feel so much better. Thank you, for having these products and recommending these things. It's really, really helped out. I've seen that a lot over the years, and that's a great feeling as well.
Yeah. Profit sure is nice, but good clinical outcomes is what drives pharmacists feel good. We like that badge of honor of helping somebody. And I think that's why I first became, when I first fell in love with Vinco, is it was very innovative. I was back, this is how long ago, you probably remember this, but your arnica profen that you used to have we sold so much of that. Gosh, what a nice innovative product of putting together a homeopathy with a topical NSAID. It just was, and patients loved it, and it was great. And it was great to hear those stories when they come back in to buy another jar and another jar. And really, that's where I love where you guys focus on the clinical outcomes. The profits come, sure, because you do arrange the products and a pricing in a way that pharmacies can actually make money, which is nice because it's hard to do that sometimes these days. But it's really those clinical outcomes and those disease states. And it's very in line with kind of the functional medicine-y type of world where you're working on some root causes. You're really trying to fix somebody, not just kind of mask a symptom, which is really nice. And the newest line, maybe it's not the newest line you have, but my newest love of Vinco is your liposomal line. And I'd like to spend just a few minutes talking about that because I don't know of anybody else that has a full line of liposomal products. There's plenty of little one-offs where somebody maybe just specializes in one product, but across the board, having so many options in a liposomal format is just not unheard of. And I think this can be a real differentiator for independent pharmacies when they're trying to carry something that, the Walgreens, the CVS, the GNC, can't have. So let's dive into this liposomal. Can you tell us a little bit, on the basic level, what is a liposomal vitamin and why would we even want to take it that way?
Yeah. So liposomals, basically, you're taking a fat source and a nutrient, and essentially, you're trying to get that nutrient into that fat to then deliver it to the cell. Now, there's different ways of doing liposomals. We've gone a lot further and have gotten a lot more scientific and a lot more technical with that process. Anybody can make a liposome. You just, like I said, you just need a fat and a nutrient. What we do differently is, well, first of all, we start with a very good phospholipid or a fat. We take our activative nutrients, like activated forms in really high quality forms, like we would have in our capsules or tablets. And what we do is we combine those. And then in the lab, what they do is they take that mixture and they pulverize it. They break it down into smaller particle sizes with high shear lab equipment. So what that's doing is it's taking that liposome and it's breaking it down even more. Or I'm sorry, the fat and the nutrient, it breaks it down even more. From there, it's sent to sonication. So what sonication is, it's high frequency sound. And what it does is it aggravates those molecules. And what happens is that fat then pulls the nutrient in. Out of that, you get highly absorbable in a stable liposome. The reason that's so important is a lot of these, the nutrients and even the fats are big. The particle size is big. So if we break that down even further, the potency and the compatibility and consistency go up. So we know that you're going to get more clinical benefit, more therapeutic effect from these products by doing that. We're finding patients are having to use less of something to get those desired results instead of taking, 4, 6, 8 capsules, sometimes a day of something. You just take a half a dropper full of one of these liposomal products and you're getting that therapeutic benefit. Another thing with ours is flavor. A lot of these can be pretty nasty, but we work with a really great chemist who does have a background in that as well, and flavoring. So, one of the liposomal products that's most hard to ingest, I guess, is there's iron and then glutathione. Those are the two absolute worst. But we've done such a great job with that. The glutathione tastes like watermelon. The iron tastes like chocolate. So another big part of taking supplements is sticking to that schedule and making sure you take that every day. If something tastes terrible, you're not going to want to take it. With these, there's no issue there. Also good, children can take these as well, obviously under, supervision of the parent or doctor. But the pipettes that come in these products, they're graduated. So you can dose accordingly, which is another very nice feature of these. And we do have a nice extensive line. We are always adding to it. I know we're working on some newer ones too that should be coming out next year. But yeah, we have 8 right now. And like I said, yeah, we are adding some more. So
yeah, it really is. So I'm a functional medicine junkie. And if those of you who are watching this probably been following me for a while, I love talking about supplements. I think cash-based revenue and supplements should be an area that pharmacies should own. Somebody shouldn't be more comfortable going to a supplement store where, a 19-year-old kid with no formal education is recommending stuff to take in their body. I think really that pharmacist should be that point of education and expertise for supplements. But we have to differentiate ourselves. We have to market. We have to do things different. If you're just carrying the, A, B, C, D vitamins, as I say, and that's all you're doing, you're not really setting yourself apart. You're not making yourself look like an expert. You're not making yourself any different. And when you carry products like the Vinco line, like their liposomal line, that is very scientific, very technology based heavy, lots of proven data about how these nano-sized particles have better absorption, as you were saying, and better outcomes. Now, all of a sudden, by carrying better products, you come off as a better expert, and people are actually more willing to pay. A lot of people think that the lowest price always wins, but that's not true. It's the highest value always wins. And sometimes lowest price does equal the highest value. But when you get to have a chance to educate people and talk to them about supplements, and there's plenty of people out there that do equate price with value. And in this case with Vinco, you're not going to have the lowest cost, vitamin D or anything like that. However, you're probably going to have one of the best and highest qualities of vitamin supplements. And so I think that's a really important difference that pharmacy owners need to kind of wrap their head around is you need to differentiate yourself. And the way you differentiate yourself is with products that actually help differentiate you. So you guys actually also do a lot of other things. You're always coming up with kind of new programs. I know like way back in the day, it was like free vitamin programs and some of these other things, but you really try to help pharmacies succeed business wise, as well as clinical wise. So what are some of the other things that some of your pharmacy customers, use most often with you?
Yeah, our probiotics for sure. We have 5 different formulations. And we have a nice program built around our probiotics where we actually will provide you with a small refrigerator. And this is my favorite part of the program because I've seen it work in so many pharmacies. And it's not a huge commitment either to get it or to get started with this program. Having that refrigerator out front by the register or on a counter, somewhere where the person checking the customer out can reference it. A lot of the times too, they don't even have to mention anything. The customer sees it. Oh, what's this? They start to ask questions. Whenever you get that dialogue going, your chances of moving that product go up a lot.
A ton. Yeah. Just engaging with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially, when the pharmacist gets involved too and says, hey, you're picking up this prescription for an antibiotic. I definitely recommend getting one of these probiotics. And then they can get into the details with all of that as to why it's so beneficial. But not only that, but after the rounds of antibiotics and restoring that beneficial bacteria and flora in the gut, it's huge. But looking at it as a marketing program, the refrigerators that we get, first of all, they do look really nice. There's plexiglass shelving in it. We put our logo on the outside. We label the outside. It's a glass front. There's like a light in it, so it lights up too. It's very noticeable. We put our logo on it again, and what products you're carrying. We also, and we'll get into this too, but in private labeling, we do offer, and we can also customize these refrigerators with your logo and everything on it as well. I have pharmacies that I've been working with for years, and they would move maybe 12 to 18 bottles of probiotics a month. We put this refrigerator in, and within 3 months, they're tripling, almost quadrupling what they were selling before. And that's extra money coming into the farm. It's really incredible. And I've just been blown away by how great this program's been. And we've been doing it going back into like the late 90s.
Yeah, no, you guys have. I used your probiotics. That was actually part of my protocol in helping patients with eczema and psoriasis, was to help heal that gut. And part of that was probiotics for sure. So I used your guys' probiotics for that. And in general, obviously probiotics, everybody thinks antibiotics, which it's crazy. I learned in one of my functional medicine classes that you need to take probiotics for 6 months after each course of antibiotic just to get your body like back to where it was. So it really is a huge impact when you take an antibiotic. But there's also lots of other, everybody's on GI meds, you know, everybody's on a PPI or H2 antacid, or other, they have chronic constipation or chronic diarrhea, like all of those patients. It's amazing, you know, the breadth of health benefits that you get from probiotics. So certainly antibiotics is what everybody defaults to, and it's probably the lowest hanging fruit, but there's certainly a whole plethora of patients behind that can benefit from a program like that. And you're right, it is extra cash to the pharmacy. This is cash-based revenue, my favorite type of revenue. You're not having to wait to, you know, for PBM to pay you. Somebody's not deciding what's going to pay. You actually get to educate your patient, and the patient either gets to purchase it or not. And that's wonderful. So I do love that program. So what else is the most popular, kind of next popular item over at Vinco?
Well, our private labeling right now has just been taking off. Pharmacies, independent pharmacies, they're always trying to find new ways to be one up above the competition, whether it be, mostly, you know, retail pharmacy. And by creating your own brand and getting behind it and marketing that brand and really showing that you have that passion behind it, goes a long way with the customers. And that's why I really get excited about the private labeling, because like I said, I do have a background in graphic design, which has been very beneficial, you know, to Vinco too. Just being able to work with these pharmacists, and, you know, some of them don't even have a logo yet. Just maybe something that somebody made back in the 80s or 90s in like Microsoft Paint, and they've stuck with it. But what I can come in and do is say, hey, you know, why don't we bring you up to 2021, really just revamp this logo, this look, your colors, the whole brand identity, design a label for you, get some products out to you, and work with you to help build that brand, whether it be in social media or, bag clippers, handouts, anything like that. You know, I can do that as well, or we could do that as well here. And that goes a long way in building that brand loyalty and that trust that the customer has with the pharmacist. Word of mouth, you know, that plays a big role too. They say, you know, you got to go here. I'm taking this. It's really been helping me out. I'm on this prescription. The pharmacist told me to take this. He has his own brand. They're great quality products. But with that, you know, like I said, we do a lot of customized handouts, social media images, anything that we can do to help the pharmacist. That's been a huge success, especially I think with COVID too. It's really opening a lot of eyes. How else can I get people in here and have that security and knowing that they are going to come back? And this is a great way to do that.
Yeah, just as I was mentioning earlier, you know, differentiating yourself, having your own private labeled products really is, you know, the ultimate differentiator, because you can't, a patient isn't going to go find that exact bottle sitting on someone else's shelf. Now, if they're a super savvy, you know, patient and really understand ingredients, maybe they can go figure out alternatives, but that's a lot of effort. And most people are not, ingredient savvy. And so the easiest thing for them to do is to go right back to your pharmacy and purchase another bottle. And so it really does help drive repeat sales, because it does happen where pharmacists spend time with a patient. They tell them all about a supplement. They get them on, you know, whether it's CoQ10 for a statin or something like that. And then the patient, you know, oh, here's the exact same thing on Amazon, or here's the exact same thing, you know, from someone else that's $1 cheaper. And now you've kind of lost that sale, even though you put in all that initial effort. And that's just less likely to happen when you're private labeled. I know I carried private label stuff in my pharmacy, and definitely saw that increase of repeat customers coming in. And it does create a brand loyalty for absolute sure. And then they take it to their doctors, and their doctor's office see it, you know, and it really just, it starts to kind of grow like wildfire eventually once you've had that private label for a while. So all the things that you guys do really do help pharmacies from that both clinical and that profit perspective. Obviously, I am all about helping pharmacies improve their profitability. When a pharmacy kind of starts with Vinco, what is the typical outcomes that you've seen? Like, what should they start with? We talked about liposomal products, probiotics, white label. Like, do they start with all three? Like, what's the norm for a pharmacy of like, where do you direct them to go?
So I usually try to get a sense of, are they just getting into this? Do they have knowledge? Do they have a history of doing this? And a lot of times they're just looking to get into it. So I always recommend starting slow with things. Bring in, 4 products, maybe 4 to 6 products, something you're comfortable with, that that you can just take those and run with them. Men's and women's multivitamins. That's I always recommend starting with those, because you always have people coming in looking for multivitamins. Probiotics, that's another easy one. The people that these buzzwords, probiotics, that's one of those buzzwords, and they come in looking for those. My doctor said I should be on a probiotic. Always have those. Another one is drug nutrient depletion products. That's a very easy program too, and we do have drug nutrient depletion products with support materials. So whenever they're coming to pick up a cholesterol med or a diabetes med, we have these handouts. The pharmacist can talk to them and say, hey, while you're on this, your body's being depleted of these nutrients. We have this product that's going to replete those. I would recommend taking those. That's an easy program to get everybody on board with, even the person checking them out, even if they don't have a background in all of this. Hey, our pharmacist recommended this. So there's 3 products in that line, but we can even, if they're looking to really get comprehensive with that, we could go even further. But those 6, we have quite a few probiotics, but those are the areas that I would start, and then adding some liposomals as well, especially the D3 that we have, the B12. Those are our biggest sellers. And then we have other ones, iron, K2, zinc, glutathione, iodine, stuff like that. But I would just focus on the simple ones that that you can learn quickly and get those moving. And then
yeah, absolutely. No,
and then they come back and they'll say, what else? Those have been doing really good for me. What else can I start adding? And then I'll say, hey, let's add 2, 3 at a time, or whatever you're comfortable with. And part of my job too is education and helping them to understand and educating their staff too. And that's another part of it that we can help with. But.
No, you guys do a great job in educating staff, because it should not be up to the pharmacist only for supplement sales. In fact, it should be 90% like the staff. And then of course, those every once in a while, patients will have a very clinical question that they need to bring the pharmacist in to answer those kinds of questions. But so I hope you've gotten a little taste of Vinco and what they can offer for you. There's actually far even more than what we discussed today, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, Dave, in terms of like the lowest hanging fruit, the biggest opportunities for pharmacists on how they can kind of start capitalizing on this cash-based revenue. The pandemic, I think, has made a lot more people aware of their health and the role of supplements in their health. And so I think the best way to capture those dollars in your community is with, differentiating products that they can't find in other places. And, we're recording this in December. And so just around the corner is New Year's resolutions. Lots of people always make healthy goals for the year, and they're apt to make those changing decisions and to break habits and do new things at the first of the year. So there's still plenty of time to get in and get your Vinco products to be prepared for kind of that onslaught of healthy patients seeking some supplement opportunities. So thank you so much, Dave. If a pharmacy is listening to this, they're not a current Vinco customer, or maybe they have maybe some Vinco products and they just said, hey, I wasn't quite maybe aware of some of this other stuff. Like, what's the best way that they can either contact you or contact Vinco to learn more about all of the offerings?
Yeah. So our phone number, the main number is 1-800-245-1939. And my email, you could just sales@vincoinc.com. That will come to me. You can get on our website. It's vincoinc.com. There's forms that you can fill out there to carry our products. There's also a back end area where up at the very top right, it's professional login. So what that does is it opens up professional pricing and information sheet, stuff like that. Any ordering would have to be done over the phone or through email, something like that. And I also wanted to mention too, if anybody's calling in with an order, if you mentioned Mindshare, what we did today, we're offering a 5% discount, existing customers or new customers.
Awesome. So that was Mindshare.
Yes.
MINDSHARE. I will put that in the comments as well. Yes. And that way, that was very generous of you. That's awesome. That's fantastic. You guys have great products, so any discount is much appreciated. So, well, thank you for spending some time with me today. Thanks for going through kind of the opportunities for pharmacists. I know myself as a pharmacy who sold your products, like they do sell. I won't say sell themselves, but because they are professional grade, and I do think inserting a little bit of education in there goes a long way. But
that's important.
They do create raving fans and very loyal patients that come back and back again, which is, I think, really awesome. So, and it's great to hear all those positive stories. So thank you so much, Dave. Have a great, wonderful rest of the year as we wrap up here. And I can't wait to hear all the new products that you're coming out with next year.
Yeah, great. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.